Hi, my name's Aubrey Nelson. I did my internship with Pinnacle Autism Therapy. I worked as a registered behavior technician doing ABA therapy with kids who are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Pinnacle works with kids between the ages of 18 months and 18 years old. I was paired with about 6 different kids between that age range. Pinnacle is an ABA therapy provider. ABA is applied behavior analysis, and we will get into that later into our presentation. So I found this internship through Indeed.com. I applied with my previous experience being an ABA provider. I received a phone interview, and I was offered the position and accepted. And then I had to go through multiple background checks because I am a healthcare provider, just to make sure that I am competent and I have no felony charges. And then after those were completed, I was able to do orientation and learn about the company and what kind of services I will be providing. So applied behavior analysis therapy is the only evidence-based practice that is applicable for autism treatment. Therefore, we work with anybody on the autism spectrum, regardless of cultural background, economic class, or anything in between. My specific responsibilities in this internship included being an in-home and a community setting provider. I worked one-on-one with kids typically in their home and with one client who was at a summer camp, which was really fun. I was under the direct supervision of a board-certified behavior analyst, or a BCBA, the entire time that I was completing this internship. They were the ones to create the goals and to create the behavior intervention plans, and I was the one to implement it in direct care. Now, ABA therapy is all play-based. We do a lot of preferred activities with our clients, so we have to figure out what those things are. For some of my clients, it was playing with specific toys or playing specific activities or focusing the whole session around maybe a preferred TV show. And while we engage in that play, we sneak in therapy. We use discrete trial training and natural environment training. This is when we place what you call demands on the client, and they have to respond appropriately for them to be able to continue that preference-based activity. These demands are what we call skill acquisition. We are essentially setting up opportunities for our clients to learn their targets, which will then help them to reach their developmental milestones. Another large aspect of applied behavior analysis is decreasing maladaptive behaviors. That can include anything from screaming, tantruming, aggression, throwing objects, or even self-injurious behaviors. We target these behaviors through a behavior intervention plan written by the BCBA. After we identify why the behavior is happening in the first place, we are able to find replacement behaviors that utilize the same function of the maladaptive behavior. So essentially, instead of telling our client to just stop the behavior altogether, we are offering them an alternative that is more appropriate. ABA therapy is very individual and unique to the client, so there will never be a behavior plan or targets that are the exact same across multiple clients. So part of my job is being able to distinguish between which clients have what goals and how to implement them in a natural environment. This includes a lot of prep, such as gathering materials before sessions, making sure you have items that are reinforcing to the client, which varies from client to client. So having all of those ready and available for your different sessions is super important. If I had to summarize ABA therapy and my responsibility in 2 words, it would be positive reinforcement. ABA is all about reinforcing appropriate behavior and skill acquisition. It gets its foundations from operant conditioning. So we are pairing good behaviors and skill acquisition with high verbal praise, attention, access to preferred items, and even breaks during therapy sessions in general. One of the best parts about this internship was watching my clients improve because of the therapy I provided. I watched kids go from having two-word communication to speaking full sentences. I also watched clients who had no concept of the alphabet be able to master every single letter identification. I saw tacting increase across all of my clients, being able to name different items and identify them from an array of 4 or more. I watched behaviors decrease and clients use coping strategies that they had never used before. These are all things that they can put in their personal toolbox to utilize throughout their lifelong experience with autism. Now, while watching clients progress throughout their programs, I did have a few personal gains that helped me with my professional career. I began this internship knowing that I wanted to do a graduate degree in applied behavior analysis and hopefully one day become a board certified behavior analyst. So throughout the duration of this internship, I was supervised by BCBAs and I was able to ask questions and get tips and tricks and know more things about what it takes to become a BCBA and what the career looks like. So one of the things that I learned is that I have to have 1,500 hours of direct care supervised time to be able to even sit for my board certified test. On top of that, I have to have a master's degree in ABA therapy. I also learned about the VB map, which is an assessment for verbal behaviors and milestones, and that places them amongst their peers in ranking and how we can identify and evaluate their developmental progression so that we can provide the best intervention as possible. These assessments are given at the intake assessment, where we can get a general idea of what the client needs help with most. One of the other important things that I learned in this internship is what an MAS is. It's a motivation assessment scale where we learn what the functions of behaviors are, specifically the maladaptive or problem behaviors. Through this assessment, we can learn what we need to put in the behavior intervention plan so that there is a replacement behavior that serves the same function as the maladaptive behavior. This is a crucial part of ABA therapy for the client to know coping strategies or new skills so that the bad behavior is eliminated. Something that was quite evident throughout my entire internship was a connection that I had made with my family and community relationships class. In Family 430, we learned about the bioecological model and the different systems within that model. It essentially talks about all of these systems that impacts a child's socialization in the world and shapes them into who they become. I realized that I was part of the exosystem of every single one of my clients' model. I was a community resource that they were taking advantage of so that they could improve their life. I was also part of the mesosystem because of how closely I worked with the clients and their families. We know with this model that the mesosystem is so important because it connects the most important parts of a child's life, the family and the outside world. Because I had this knowledge, I took this internship to a deeper level, knowing that I could impact my client's life more fully if I had a great relationship with the family, the supervisor, and the client themselves. When you look at it through the perspective of this model, responsibilities were so much more than the job description I was given. It was important for me not to mess this up so that my client had the best possible experience they could have and take the lessons that they've learned through their time with me and continuously use them. I'm so grateful for this internship. I highly recommend it. If you are in the Phoenix or El Segundo area, This is a great internship if you are looking to learn more about ABA therapy or maybe become a registered behavior technician yourself. I provided the number that you can reach for a Pinnacle Autism Therapy representative where you can ask them about career opportunities near you.